Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and much appreciated you guys checking out today's video and spending some time with me. And guys, today we are going to examine two different scenarios as far as how it all ends in bass fishing. I'm going to get in and I'm going to dig into the probable reality of what our future faces in bass fishing, and then the possible reality of what our future faces based upon the decisions that we make. And I think it's really important to do videos like this. I mean, it's so easy for us to get caught up in, just catching bass and, our own instant gratification and immediate satisfaction in fishing, that a lot of times we lose sight of the fact that it is our responsibility to hand the sport off better than we found it to future generations. And we are doing a terrible job at that right now. So we're going to get into that in today's video, and I don't know, maybe it'll do some good, maybe it won't when I bring up some of these points, but anyway, we're going to get into it today. Also, guys, I wanted to share with you one little quick bait that's been catching a lot of fish for me here lately, and it's going to continue over the next month. Guys, try this Megabass Super Z1, this little bitty Super Z1 crankbait. In the month of September, this thing is deadly. Just go to whatever the dirtiest water is in the lake that you have, get up there and throw this little Super Z1 around shallow rock, shallow wood. It works the best if the water visibility is under 2 foot. Put it on like a 12-pound test line, 10-pound test line, especially cranking around shallow rock, riprap, stuff like that. Freaking deadly. So I'll put the link to the Super Z1 in my Tackle Warehouse link in the description of this video, guys, if you'd like to pick one up. It's just really freaking awesome bait this time of year. Okay, guys, this is one of those videos that's probably gonna have a lot of people agree with it and a lot of people don't agree with it. I want to examine this about what we got coming up in the future as far as how or if this sport is going to end. I think about this stuff a lot. A lot of people may not, but I think about it a lot. And I want to run by a couple different scenarios because it sort of like goes along with everything else in life. It's like everything comes to an end. It's like our lives are going to come to, thing flies, our lives, every one of our lives, guys, are going to come to an end. The job that you currently have right now, it's not going to last forever. It's going to come to an end. Our friendships, nothing's permanent, man. Everything changes and everything is going to come to an end. The same with bass fishing. The thing about it is it doesn't have to come to the end that it's headed towards if we make logical, rational, intelligent decisions. And one of the things that I've noticed, guys, is for whatever reason, we are in a period of our existence here in this country that we do not have the best and brightest people in charge of anything. We don't have the best or the brightest politicians in charge of stuff right now. We don't have the best and brightest people in charge of the bass fishing industry right now. We don't have the best and brightest in charge of a lot of different things. And there's a lot of reasons for this. A lot of it is nepotism. It's the good old boy network. It's sort of like the denial of putting people in positions of authority or power that are the best qualified for that and that can prove that. We're in a really, really strange period throughout the course of our history right now. Hopefully it'll be temporary, but especially in bass fishing, guys, in my opinion, the bass fishing industry right now is in probably some of the worst hands it's ever been in. And it doesn't take very long. You don't have to look very far to see all the indicators with that as far as everything across the board in bass fishing. I don't see anything in bass fishing that is like on the rise or moving in the right direction. There's a lot of different negatives and challenges that we have. So let's talk about the probable reality, the probable and the possible scenario. Now, the probable reality is something that is more than likely to happen than not if we continue down our current trajectory that we're on. And here's our current trajectory when you talk about long-term sustainability of the sport. And like I said, we're talking about the bigger picture here. We're not talking about your immediate gratification. In the bigger long-term picture of the sport, when it comes to the survivability of the sport, number one, the resource is more important than anything. The water quality, the resource, the ability of a fishery to maintain, the cycle of life and the balance. And it's not just about the bass fishing in the lake, because the bass is just one part of the puzzle. In order for a lake to remain healthy, including a bass fishery, it starts at the bottom of the food chain. It starts at the algae and the plankton and the minnows and the brim and the bluegill and the other creatures that use the lake on up to the bass, which is one of the apex predators in the lake. And right now, the trajectory that we are on, we are polluting our waters. And we don't have people in positions of power that give a crap about putting forth legislation to protect our air and water. In fact, that right now we're in a phase where all of our environmental protections and our safeguards for our air and water quality are being degraded or removed. It's absolutely disgusting. So if we are currently headed down this trajectory of deregulation and eliminating our safeguard and protections of our water quality, allowing companies to pollute at will, allowing this and that to take place without any oversight, it doesn't take an Einstein to figure out that that is unsustainable in the long term. Eventually it's going to get caught up. We're going to get caught up with it. It's like something is going to break in the food chain, whatever that may be. And it can be something as simple as some type of algae or plankton. It's like when you take one little part of the ecosystem and destroy it or interrupt its cycle, it's a domino effect. It affects everything down the food chain. So right now, the path that we are on, where we're people, and I'll argue this with anybody, I can give you facts to back it up. The legislation that has been in place recently is undermining our protections that ensure our air and water quality. There's no ifs, ands, or but about it. That is a reality of the situation, regardless if somebody wants to deny it or not. So in that term, if we don't change that, that is going to be something that we have to deal with. On down the road, guys, and along with this is the whole technology, this advancement in electronic technology, the rapid advancement in artificial intelligence, all of this stuff coupled with increasing fishing pressure is another recipe for unsustainability. So if you've got declining or degrading water quality, and then you've got overfishing or overpressure, and then you've got the fishermen that do fish, they are more adept and skilled at bass angling, that the technology has allowed them to advance to a point where there's nothing left out there to discover. There's no stone unturned. There's no mystery in the magic. We have developed technology to the level where we can basically know where every single fish in the lake is and identify that fish and figure out how to catch that fish through advancing bait and equipment technology, electronic technology, whatever. So in essence, we have gotten too good at it. We've gotten where we love the sport too much. We've got too many people fishing. We've got too many bass tournaments. We've gotten too good with electronic technology. And again, this is not a sustainable path that we're on, because one of the things that really concerns me is the apathy, and I've talked about this a lot recently, the apathy amongst the conservation departments and the fisheries managers that drag their feet on this. It's like we have got a fire alarm going off right now on the sustainability issue, and all that you hear from the conservation departments is, oh, we have to do some more studies, or the data is inconclusive. That is basically a denial of the reality. It doesn't take a genius to figure out, if you degrade water and air quality, and you've got too many people fishing, and you've got technology that is basically, outpacing the ability of the fishery to sustain itself, the inevitable conclusion is easy to figure out. We don't need to have data and studies. So we don't really have any adults in the room. We don't have, the tournament organizations are not putting a brake on this. We don't have any adults in the room to do this. And the probable reality is that we are in freaking trouble right now until we get people in positions of power that can reverse it. Okay, now let's turn it around and let's leave this on a positive night. Let's talk about the possible reality if we do the right thing. Let's say, for example, we'll go back and revisit what I just talked about. In a possible reality, say we have people in positions of legislative power in our country that have the ability to ensure that we have very strong and stringent environmental safeguards where we protect our air and water, we protect our water quality, we don't let companies pollute at will and put excess CO2 emissions in the atmosphere and sulfur dioxide emissions from power plants, and we go through all the 9 yards to protect and ensure the sustainability and vibrancy of our fisheries. And this way, the ecosystem remains in balance. The entire system stays in balance. That is one possible reality that could help us out. The next one with that is we put a brake on this technology. Conservation departments, legislation, or whatever says you will not be allowed to use forward-facing sonar or AI or any type of advanced technology on this body of water. If you do, it's going to be met with a $10,000 fine and a year-long suspension of your license. Think about that, guys. If we had that sign when you launched your boat in the morning, and it said that, it's like, no AI technology, no forward-facing sonar, no advanced technology will be allowed on this lake. Think about the long-term sustainability benefit of that. That is like massive. That possible reality is going to help us out as well. Next thing that we have to do is we have got to have some type of governing body that regulates and limits the amount of bass tournaments on our waters. We have way too many freaking bass tournaments that are causing way too much delayed mortality. We got to have that instituted. And then we have got to have this paradigm shift where people think about the next generation over themselves. And one of the things that I have noticed about the bass fishing community in general, not everybody, but in general, and a lot of people, it's about what is here and now for them. It's like they want to know what they can do to help them catch more fish and have them have a better time on the lake. And we have to have this paradigm shift. It's like, instead of thinking about ourselves here and now, we have got to think about what's going to happen 50 years from now. We've got to start taking steps to ensure the sustainability of our fisheries 50 years from now. And the problem with that is you've got a tremendous amount of denial and apathy. Number one, there's way too much denial of scientific reality in our country. There's way too much apathy in our country. There's way too many people that have basically just are concerned about themselves. And so we've got to have that shift a little bit in order for us to get past that. And then finally, guys, if we are going to have, you can't, our human population is expanding rapidly, faster than we can meet up with our balance of sustainability. We have got to have more places to fish. And I talk about this all the time about how great of a program would be if we could have some type of subsidies or program that would allow us to build lakes all across the country around cities. I'm talking about maybe 500, 1,000 acre lakes, things that are realistic to build, where people would have more water to fish, more public water to fish, more accessibility, and then that takes pressure off a lot of the major fisheries and major impoundments across the lake. But those are the two scenarios, guys, and like I said, I'll debate this with anyone out there. We have that probable reality that we are headed down right now. Make no mistake about it. We are in denial of reality, what's happening in the sport. You can stick your head in the sand. You can deny it's happening, whatever you want to do at your own peril. That is one probable reality that we're facing, or we have the ability to change that. We can change that by putting people in positions of authority and power that have critical thinking skills, intelligence. They're scientific driven. They go, they use everything. They not only have like a scientific data mindset to it, but they have ability to look at the situation from a real world perspective that goes with that, because you can't just look at this purely from a scientific data standpoint. You got to see the more subtle variables that are involved with that I just talked about, with the technology and with the pollution and with the attitudes. If we can change that, and we can get people in positions of power that are not controlled by special interest groups, as far as the legislation passed to protect our air and water and our fisheries, then we can have a good future, man. We have the ability to have a vibrant, sustainable fishery moving forward for generation after generation and generation. But if we don't have a huge paradigm shift, it's not going to happen. And it is not going to happen on the road that we are on right now. I can tell you from somebody that has spent a lifetime on the water, guys. I probably have spent more days on the water than anybody watching this video, and I have seen the degradation in our fisheries. I've seen not only the degradation in our fisheries, the quality, I've seen the degradation in water quality, I've seen the degradation of our environment overall. I've seen everything, and nothing is moving forward in a positive direction right now. As much as a lot of people out there just get on me for being complaining and negative, and they want to live in a world of rainbows and unicorns, you can't do that. If you want to deny reality, you do that at your own peril. But I'm here to give you guys a reality check from somebody that's been in the sport longer than anybody probably watching this video, somebody that has a genuine concern about handing it off better than I found it, that we are freaking on an uphill battle right now. And everything that I talked about, you know, let me know what you think about it, because I mean, we got to do something. And like I said, if you can't ever fix a problem if you don't deny that there's a problem to begin with. And that's a problem that's very prevalent in our society today. We live in a society, especially over the past 10 years or so, where narcissism and power hungry and trying to get ahead and just, you know, gaslighting people, and a world of alternative facts like we've never been before. And it does not serve the human race. It does not serve our society to think like that or behave like that. So anyway, guys, let me know what y'all think about it. We'll check in later.